Nerd or Not, spanning 2 presidencies now. They're showing the same video we watched last night. I'm just imagine Mario walking over to one of these cabs, pulling out the driver, and then stomping on his face. It's me, Mario! I'm gonna steal your shit! Welcome back to the Nerd or Not podcast, where we give our opinions on a range of topics, whether they be movies, TV, sports, video games, board games, comics. You could say we're all over the place like Roadkill Armadillo. I'm Bob, and I'm joined today by someone who dreams of skinning Overwatch's May alive with a fruit peeler, Corey.
Oh, that was excessively real.
Am I wrong?
Well, no, you're not.
No.
You are so painfully correct. May is the afterbirth of an incubi brood.
Well, with that, we are back. This is episode 12, and we now mark a full year of doing this podcast.
More or less.
Well,
with breaks.
Calendar year.
Calendar year.
Yeah.
Right.
With the new year, we're going to start a new beginning with the Nerd or Not cast. We're going to cut the show from its normal 90-plus minute runtime, if we can help it.
None of which is my fault ever.
Yeah, no.
By the way.
We actually talk a lot of garbage about stuff, and we're going to cut some of that out. We're also going to increase our episode count, so we'll have more to talk about with hopefully less bullshit. You know what? No, maybe we'll keep the same amount of bullshit.
Yeah, more or less.
One topic we're going to touch over the next few weeks is what we're calling the Road to Wrestlemania, as Corey and I will be attending Wrestlemania 33 here in Orlando.
Yeah.
And with the Royal Rumble coming on real shortly, it kicks off the run to the biggest event in the business. So I'm excited about talking about some of this later on.
Yep. And you are, of course, talking about WWE Backlash, right?
Is that?
No,
February?
WWF in your house?
In your house.
Or
yeah, because that's back.
In your...
Why not? They do like 25 pay-per-views a year now. Well, tonight, Corey and I are going to be talking about the Nintendo Switch. They did a presser on Thursday night. Corey and I watched this together, and we're going to talk about it right now.
Yep.
Corey?
Still watching it in some ways.
Well, yeah, because they have the Treehouse going on, which I think this is Friday morning when we're recording this, and then they have another one on Saturday where they're just demoing the games. They're not really talking about some of the stats and the tech about the...
details about
not
the
much.
Network would be nice, yeah. But on the other hand, this is just kind of like a 3-hour build-up to the Mother 3 announcement for a lot of us, but it doesn't seem to be going that way.
Yeah,
after all.
I remember when they announced that was coming to the Switch, you and Jay
pretty much just everybody,
all your shits.
Yeah, we ejected our insides, basically. Well,
let's start off. They have, right off the bat, they announced a date, March 3rd of this year.
Maybe I'll be financially stable by that point, but it looks like there won't be any pre-orders coming from me.
If you're getting this thing, you're not going to be financially stable.
Right, yeah.
Because there's a price with this. It's $299.99.
Yeah. Now, for the sake of comparison, or at least meeting the trend, how much did the PS4 Pro hit the shelf at this year?
Off the top of my head, I want to say $399 or $350. I'm not entirely sure.
Okay, so it was about $100 more, but that was seen by a lot of people as like the luxury that is not necessary gaming console. The one that you would spend money on if you couldn't think of anything to spend money on that week. Yeah,
but you won't have to spend, aside from games, you're not going to have to spend a lot of money once you get the unit, because it comes with the Switch itself, which is just that monitor.
Yeah.
And then it comes with the 2 Joy-Cons that clamp onto the side of that, or they clamp onto the con grip, they call it.
Right. Which is the dock bit, the one that looks like a dog face?
Yeah, where it's like a perfect square with grips underneath.
Uh-huh. Okay.
Let's see. Yeah, then there's the dock, and this is interesting. It's going to come with a pair of straps, kind of like the Nintendo Wii did. You strap around your wrist. But the interesting is when you slap on these straps.
No, when you strap them on, Bob.
When you strap them on. Strap them on, well, it increases your size. The girth does. The girth really does. It increases the size of the Joy-Con, so it's a little easier to hold. Because from the videos we were watching, those things look tiny.
We are fucking children over here.
Yeah.
just acting like fucking kids. All right.
Yeah. There are children over here. There are not children in the process of getting fucked.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's also going to come with an HDMI cable, so this is going to be obviously an HDMI device, as it should be.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that comes together, and there's... did you hear if it's going to come with 2 games already on it? Is that the case, or did I mishear that?
That would have been one of the details that I had somehow missed last night. I missed a couple of them, which was kind of weird because my eyes were glued to this friggin' monitor.
Yeah, I missed a few things, but it's also going to come with a Pro Joy-Con, Pro controller.
Pro controller, yeah,
which is a little meatier, a little easier to hold.
It's to fulfill the traditionalist niche, the kind of like they did with on the Wii and the Wii U and such. But it's coming with it, whereas with the Wii and the Wii U, you had to buy it separately.
This I do believe it is being sold separately.
Oh,
the Pro controller.
Well.
Which, who knows what that's going to cost? I would gander up to $50 because that's what all controllers seem to cost these days.
It's around $30. I think that's how much the
that'd
Wii
be great.
Costs. Yeah, it is nice to have for the VC, but damn, if the integration with it was a bit tighter with something like Splatoon, it would have been almost a necessity. But that's kind of like one of the things we'll talk about later, I guess.
Yeah, we'll get to that because they did have an announcement of a couple of games. One detail they did talk about that I was very interested in is the battery life for this thing. When you take it out of the dock and you're walking around, they said depending on how you play and what you're playing, it can last anywhere from 2.5 to 6.5 hours. I know that seems to be all over the place, but I think there's like factors like if you have the brightness all the way up, like what exactly are you playing that burns up all this energy, and I guess even how you're playing. If you're playing with the Joy controllers off of the unit itself. I mean,
comparatively, that does sound pretty damn brief. Also, think about how your play habits dictate the life or the battery life of your 3DS as well. Like, I play so much varied shit on my 3DS that the battery life could last anywhere from like an hour and a half to almost 8 hours without being charged up. But it depends on what's being played. Like right now, I'm playing actually, what was it? Something that seems to like sap that thing dry quicker than you'd like is SteamWorld Heist. And I play that, but then like a little bit later or the next day I'll be playing ACNL New Leaf. Welcome Amiibo update. Thanks, Nintendo. And it'll be good for, I don't know, somewhere at least around 3 hours of straight play. And then you throw it back on the dock and it's got 2 bars down, which is not a big deal.
Let's see. They also announced the online service. Now, right now, or I guess whenever the system comes out,
this has
you can. Yeah, this one I'm a little worried, but at the same time, this seems to be the way that everyone seems to be going.
Well, that's the way that's the way the standard has been for the past couple of years, at least in the console space, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Well, from when it launches until the fall, the online service is completely free. You can use a phone or a tablet to help connect the device. It pairs with it
in various undefined ways. I'm still trying to figure out what their mobile strategy is and if it's even necessary.
They didn't go into a lot of detail. They just gave us some aspects about some features and whatever, like the play style. We all knew this just from watching the trailer, but when was the trailer? Like 6 months ago, 5 months ago, whatever.
Yeah,
it has 3 different play styles: the TV mode where you should be playing it, the tabletop mode
should
with a
be
kickstand.
If you are a real gamer and not casual swine.
Yeah,
God,
millennials, they ruin everything.
Listen, bitches. Sorry. Keep going.
Something they didn't talk about that I was a little interested in is when you disconnect it from the TV mode and you're having the handheld mode, what is the screen resolution for that little screen? Hopefully it's better than what a 3DS could be.
Yeah, well, the 3DS is a different pixel aspect ratio than a high def television. I'd assume that would just be a scaled down version of that.
Right. Now, some of the video they were showing, it looked like it was near exactly the same. I don't think that's the case, obviously.
What do you mean in terms of in terms of display fidelity or? how much they have to process at once.
Well, all of that, because they were making it look like what you see on the TV is equivalent to what is on that tiny little monitor.
Ah, but you haven't played a Wii U, have you?
I have not.
Okay. They on a bunch of the Wii U's launch games, they actually offered, and I think that's why a lot of people consider the Wii U to be like the commercial prototyping for this next thing, the Switch, because a lot of the earlier or launch games feature similar modes. Like I know, for instance, that the Mario 3D World does this, where if you're playing on the TV and you want to go to the bathroom, you can like pop the tablet or the game pad or the play pad or whatever the hell it's called off, and you basically get a dual or a clone display on the pad. Then you can go walk around the house with it while you're doing like more important things like feeding your kids and shit. You can still get some Mario going. It's basically like a sync stream, but it seems like with what we saw off of the Switch, it's one or the other. Unless, of course, another feature, unless, of course, the game kind of overrides that feature with something else. But that is what it looks like. And the Wii U has, and that's been a staple of like the Wii U's feature set since Go, is the same thing.
So,
and there's no
all
loss.
Right, so if I understand this right, with the Wii U, the console itself is the processor. You put the game in that and you play off that. And when it disconnects from the TV, it goes to the little gamepad.
Yeah. And it's the same.
That's just like a screen controller for the Wii U.
It's the same display and everything. But here's the thing. I think that the gamepad itself also has that processor in it because it also can emulate Wii software, like standard Wii software, without the television.
Right, that's what I'm assuming, is the little screen itself that you plug into the dock, that is the actual Switch. That is the game console itself, that monitor. Mm-hmm. And when it goes into the TV mode, or you slide in onto the Joy-Cons on the side and walk around, that is the processor, because that's where the cartridge plugs in. That's where all the information is kept, is on that little thing.
That's where your data would be streaming from. But I do believe that the processor is actually kept in the remote unit. Of course, I'm not an engineer, so I'm talking totally out of my ass.
We're speculating.
We're speculating, yes, and that's all you're going to get from here. So you know what? Don't hold us responsible for misinformation.
Yeah. So if that little monitor, that's the Switch. You plug it into the home dock for the TV mode. Mm-hmm. Is there any kind of delay going from the dock to your TV? Because you're not actually looking at that. You're looking at a TV where the signal comes down.
Going from what we've seen this morning from the Treehouse while they were playing Mario Kart 8, and from what I know about having or owning a Wii U for the last 3 years, no, like zero in the way of it.
Awesome.
Yeah, which is kind of, I don't know. You might not want that when it comes to the Switch itself, because it was like almost instantaneous. Snap, hey, because it was almost instantaneous, which meant that there would be like a no cognitive break between what's going on the TV and what happens when I don't know, whatever douchebag you might have over at the house that wants to grief people in the room does, how much time there is for him to be like lunging over the solo cups and grabbing that damn thing out of the cradle just to fuck with people. I'm assuming a lot, by the way, out of the people that I know. So, I don't know, your mileage may vary. You're all bastards.
When it comes to video games, we're smart. We can figure this shit out. But here's some other things. The Joy-Cons. Yourself. Well, I'll give you, video games, I give you credit. You know your shit when you're talking about them. For the most part.
When I'm writing about them, yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you think you're going to have an issue with the size of the Joy-Cons? Because you could take them out and use them individually, motion controlled, like the old Wiimotes.
I love this. People can't see how you're demonstrating this on the camera, but he's doing it like Maraca style, which made me immediately think of the Wii port of Samba de Amigo, which I would love to have, but
man,
I got it on the Wii U, so I'm good. Yeah, I'm fine.
All right. Do you think you're going to have any issue with the size? Because when you go to a 2-player, you got to hand one of those Joy-Cons. I'm just going to say it like that from now on. You got to hand off a Joy-Con to someone else. Are you going to have an issue with how tiny that sucker is?
A Joy-Con, please. Probably not a human being with standard human being sized hands. But since I have like ridiculously wormy finger monkey hands over here, that might be a bit of an issue. So if I'm having you people come over here for some reason And
well, you got like those skeleton fingers where you'd be really good at playing guitar. I got like these sausages on these meat hooks that.
But you know what? I think real estate's going to dictate the issues here, and for the most part, people are going to be fine. But I have like Crypt Keeper mitts over here. If you were comfortable with the Game Boy Advance Micros, y'all remember that, right? I will say this though, people are going to be fighting over that awkward ass right Joy-Con, the one with the thumbstick that's like smack dab in the middle of it, kind of hovering or hanging over the face buttons.
Yeah, because the other one, it's in a more comfortable all the way to the side, but this one is right in the middle where...
the left one's more typical, yeah. The right one's almost... I guess if you have somebody on your crew who's used to playing on N64 controllers, pass it to them. But otherwise, there's gonna be issues.
Yeah, when I pre-order, I'm definitely going to get a Pro controller just to get rid of that issue. Can you use the Pro controller when the system is out of the dock?
Have they done that yet so far?
I don't think so. Not that they've mentioned.
I don't know. They were doing Treehouse was doing a demonstration with Mario Kart 8. I think one of us mentioned that already. And they did pop it from the dock. But there was 4 players, and I believe one of them was using the Pro controller at the same time. Correct me if I am wrong. I hope that that's the case though, because one of the things that reached out and slapped me clean across the cheeks during the demonstration last night and the Treehouse bit this morning was being able to play with the Pro controller Splatoon right out of the box. Because Splatoon for the Wii U was gamepad or bust unless you were doing couch co-op or couch competition or whatever. Then somebody else can use the Pro controller. But if you were doing single player, the Pro controller is not part of the equation whatsoever. Right.
Now, you just mentioned Splatoon 2. Let's talk about some of the games. Splatoon 2 has a summer release. They don't have any actual dates yet, except for a couple, and one of them being ARMS.
Splatoon 2.
Yeah, Splatoon 2 and ARMS. Those two really blew us away when we watched a quick little demo of them.
ARMS was a new thing.
Yeah.
I think by this point we should have learned our lesson with Nintendo showing new IPs and that trust them on that shit every time. Yeah. I don't know why it is that people get like so cynical about Nintendo doing a new thing because it fucking wins. Like they have a 100% success rate, but when people don't see like a new Metroid or something, it's just like, all right, the roof is caving in, time to leave the house. Not really. Pikmin, GameCube launch title. People were like, what the f is this? It's an RTS, sim, life sim, whatever. I don't even know. That spawned a franchise. Oh God, what came after? What was Luigi's Mansion for the GameCube? People like fucking blasted diarrhea all over that, and it's one. It
did have more good things about that game than faults.
Well, it's one of my favorite series. Technically, it's a series. It's not 2 games, but still. What was the new thing for Wii? You had
aside from Wii Sports.
Well, that was, yeah. I mean, we a lot of people found
that was a tech demo for the. Do you think ARMS is a tech demo?
Fuck no. Did you watch any of the demo this morning from the Treehouse?
I didn't. No, I missed the ARMS demo this morning.
That's a fleshed out fighting game, like straight up. You even have loadouts, so it's kind of like a slash. It's kind of like a fighting game slash shooter, but since it's all in an arena and close-ish combat. Not technically, ammo and resource conservation is not part of the structure there, but there's a lot going on in that game.
Yeah, some other games. They put up Super Mario Odyssey, and my first instinct was because he's walking around a city. I'm like, what is this, Mario GTA?
No, it was just
that's coming out in the holiday season.
That was just Nintendo. Nintendo coming up with yet another way to make Mario extra weird. Put it in the real world.
Yeah. Well, there was a great mechanic that because he throws the hat now and it comes back to him like it's a boomerang. I don't know the physics involved in that. But at one part, he needed to jump from the rooftop of one building to another. He threw the hat halfway, jumped on the hat, jumped onto the other building. I thought that was a pretty neat mechanic. I don't remember seeing anything. Mega Man, maybe.
Mega Man-ish, yeah, with the rush adapters and whatnot. You remember the raccoon tail and such in other Mario games. It reminds me a lot of that, just without the contiguous action of the drafted jump or double jump or anything like that. So
yeah, there's always been something new in Mario.
Yeah.
Always.
So there's going to be like a double action involved in getting across any gaps and such like that. It looks fucking great. But
I can't wait to
I'm more
play
interested in like the story than I am about the mechanics and such that they got set up with because of the variation in the stages and the settings that they showed.
Well, unfortunately, I could probably guess the story now, and it's Princess Peach.
All right. Well, leaving Princess Peach's emotional abuse out of it. Why Bowser is bothered to take everything to the real world or to the candy-coated Barrio or wherever the hell else they're going.
Yeah.
That Sugar Skull stage made me nuts. I've got to see that. I've got to see that in the reels, like immediately.
Let's see, a couple other games they were talking about. Xenoblade 2. I know that it's got fans.
It's got a solid pedigree. It's the writer from the FFT games and Mad World, weirdly enough. And he's pretty great. I like the storylines in all the Ivalice games, but I never got into Xenoblade, so I'm probably there's no purchase for me.
What about Dragon Quest? Did you play that?
Yeah. It's slime time.
They're coming out with 4 Dragon Quest games, 2 for Japan, 2 for America. Completely separate games, all 4 of them.
You know, it's kind of like a massive black hole for this. We're at that age where we can't chase down every single goddamn game that pops up on the radar now. So we have to be super duper selective about our fandoms and what we're going to indulge in and shit. And
that's unfortunate.
I'm behind on, and here's another thing. They just showed SMT last night. There was the Shin Megami Tensei. And the Atlas had a teaser site up for the last week. People were assuming it was going to be something for the 3DS, but it was a Switch launch title. They showed that, and I'm like, yes! Fuck, I've got 5 3DS SMT games to play.
Yeah, another game they're porting over is Skyrim. I know it's got its fans. I never really... I like some of the mods that people put on YouTube because those were funny as hell.
It's a good idea. We finally get a Bethesda game that isn't riddled with bugs because Nintendo wouldn't put that trash on their consoles ever. But if you're doing Bethesda, you're doing mods, and if you're doing mods, you're doing PC. So PC or bust for me on that one.
One thing that I got excited over, I know you got excited over, is a follow-up to No More Heroes.
Yes. And I've been waiting for that since the second game because the second game, as great as that world was kind of it seems like they took a lot away from it.
Yeah, it didn't feel as fleshed out as the first one did.
Yeah. Well, I think the idea was they wanted to make it seem more focused because a lot of what was in the first game was very experimental, and a lot of those experiments paid off for other developers, but I think a lot of people were like, well, you spend a lot of time doing this, that, and the other thing, and not really sticking to what's supposed to be happening here. I didn't feel that way at all. I thought that just gave me as a player much more to do other than beat people up. But for some reason, No More Heroes 2 seemed to have taken a lot of that away.
Yeah, and then EA came out and they said, yeah, we're making a FIFA game for the Nintendo Switch. I'm thinking, oh, great. This is good. It's going to feature bribing of referees and the Zika virus.
And no, you were also talking about the potential difficulty settings they would have for certain players. What was it? Easy, medium, hard, and
economic downfall.
Economic downfall.
Your country's president just got overthrown.
Olympic players mugging you in broad daylight. Wow. Damn it.
So as of right now, there are 6 places in the United States you can go and do a little demo yourself. One of them being in New York City. I doubt any of them are near us. I'm going to be patient and just get my own when it comes out.
Surprising. It's a bit surprising that Orlando isn't one of those locations.
You're right. With Nintendo Land getting built soon. Yeah.
And other things. Apparently we're seeing this arcade resurgence. At least in the metropolitan areas, and for some reason, Oviedo.
Of all places.
Yeah.
New York, Los Angeles, Miami,
Oviedo. Come here for the pinball tables and the stray roosters.
As of right now, there's only 4 places you can pre-order a Switch. As of right now, it's probably going to increase a lot real soon, but it's Amazon, Walmart, Target, and GameStop.
Yep.
If you need a pre-order now, that's where you want to go. I want to say Toys R Us will do it soon. I don't know what their history is regarding pre-ordered consoles.
Yeah. And it's Nintendo, so they're going to short pack everything. Clear out your Coke duffel and go get that bastard as soon as possible.
Yeah, I have such a bad taste in my mouth when I was trying to get my hands on an NES Classic. And I know we're talking about a secondary product versus a main console launch. They're completely separate.
Geez, it's consistent across the board, dude.
Yeah, it's just that such low demand or low product was sent out for the Classic. It left me feeling really disappointed in the planning.
It's surprising to people that had like absolutely no intention of getting a Classic, like the guy that's talking right now. Not that I have anything against older Nintendo games, far from it. It's just that I either own most of them on the VC, and if they're not available on any publicly accessible marketplace, I play them through other means. So I had no real cause to go out and do the whole, waiting in line bit. But apparently, even people that waited in line got short shrifted.
Yeah, I hear stories about some GameStops, because it wasn't a pre-order device.
Mm-hmm.
The employees are eligible to buy it, and they would buy it up before the store even opens.
Fucking GameStop.
So they would get like 10 copies, and the 13 employees would buy them all.
I thought there were like measures in place to curb that behavior.
Well, there probably is, and what I am saying, it probably attains to one GameStop in the middle of nowhere, but I've been hearing stories of communities of 30,000 people getting 20.
Yeah.
Which they're not meeting the demand that they knew they had to anticipate.
So artificially and otherwise, there is an inventory problem with Nintendo.
Yeah, well, yes. I don't want to say that, but yes, there is. Did you see anything this morning that you want to talk about?
I was kind of hoping that more would come in the way of detailing what showed up in the sizzle reel from last night. The one that they capped the show off with. Mm-hmm. I saw a bunch of stuff that looked a lot like Final Fantasy Tactics. They showed off a bit of Minecraft or Minecraft Stories, which is, great for nerds with kids, I guess. Well, the point is they didn't really go into that much detail about that stuff, so I'm going to be keeping my eye on the blogs for the next month to a month and a half or so. Yeah, the one glaring omission from the presentation, both last night and this morning, Mother 3, because that pretty much overrided all the rumor mills for like the last week or so. Mother 3 is finally coming to the West. And I was like, yay! Oh, wait a minute. Yeah, this is rumored for the Wii U about a year ago. You're not going to get me twice, guys. You sketchy bastards.
Yeah, they probably wanted to do it on the Wii U, and then they said, we got this new console coming out in a few months. Mm-hmm. God dang it. All right, delay it again. Better late than never. So that's a wrap-up of what we took away from the Nintendo Switch press conference on Thursday night. Corey, what's your impression?
I am a basic bitch for the Nintendo Switch.
Nice. Oh, you left out something.
What was that? Oh.
Yeah. They were. That should have been a drinking game. They were snapping so much.
We would have lived through it, though. It wasn't that much. The snaps were not numerous, but they were very present.
Yeah. Maybe we should end all of our episodes with...
No.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, thanks again for tuning in. This was episode 12 of the Nerd or Not podcast. We hope you tune in for episode 13. I have no idea what it's going to be.
Please
come back. Please.
Don't leave us alone.
And fuck you if you don't. No, wait. We love you guys.
Rude.
Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, well,
yeah.
So are you.
True.
Thanks again, guys. We're tuning out. See you next time.
Bye.